What's up, and welcome back to the Run the North podcast. I am one of your hosts, the Geek Slash, joined as always by everybody's favorite Miller Golf Ball.
I resent
I'm
that.
still alive.
Yeah.
And Artie keeps calling him Miller Golf Ball, so I had to. It was required. I don't know where Jake is. Dude's doing stuff sometimes,
Yeah.
I guess. So yeah, Miller, how you doing?
I'm tired, but it's okay. I know saying I'm tired in your presence right now is like kind of a fuck you,
It's all
but
good. No, I get it. Tired's tired.
no, I'm exhausted. I got a Deadpool shirt on. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Saw that movie twice. So,
I've only seen it once. I've been in this desk
yeah,
almost since that movie came out.
almost.
Almost.
Maybe you'll be
Uh,
there when the fourth one comes out.
It is certainly beginning to feel like it.
You're telling me it's not beginning to feel a lot like Christmas over there?
I hope not. I'm not the biggest Christmas guy. Maybe that'll change one day, but I'm still currently not the biggest Christmas
What if
guy.
you were live on Christmas though? Like still.
That would be a little ridiculous.
It would be a little ridiculous, but think of all the money you would have.
That's true.
You
But
would have a
also,
lot of money. And everyone knows all streamers care about is money.
well, that's just not true.
But bigger number, better person.
No. Almost never.
I know.
Oh, God.
Also, I just uploaded a YouTube video as we're recording our podcast. Look at me
Right.
multitasking as a creator.
What did you up? Oh, no, not talking about Penix. That was already out. What did you upload?
Titans draft grades.
Oh,
Because their
I'm
draft,
so sorry.
it was weird. I don't get it. Which
That's how I feel about the Titans' existence in general.
yeah,
It's weird. I don't get it.
I said the same thing in the actual video. Like I don't know what to make of that team. Because I know everyone's hyped up about their offense, but like I don't see why.
I feel like that's a little, I don't know, goofy. Didn't they added a few, they added quite a few pieces on the O-line. I mean, you can pretend to not like their receivers, but that's a little goofy.
No, I mean I like D-Hop. And Boyd is
D-Hop
fine
with Calvin
for
Ridley
what
as
he
a 2
is.
and Boyd as a 3 is kind of wonderful. Yeah, they don't have a Justin Jefferson.
Right. If
level.
Ridley can remember how to catch the ball in big moments, then
Well, he's no longer asked to be Calvin Ridley, the superstar. He's just Calvin Ridley, the guy.
I don't know. What he did with Trevor last year just left a bad taste in my mouth. Because, like, when you lead the league in on-target drop percentage, and you become so inconsistent that it takes a quarterback who I think is easily top 10 talent-wise out of top 10 conversations for a lot of people, kind of single-handedly, I'm going to have trouble trusting you. Like, point blank, period. But I mean, I don't think Ridley's like bad or anything. And then obviously everything hinges on Levis and JC Latham at like left tackle is weird. I know we talked about it the other day on your stream, but like, I like the pick. And obviously I trust their offensive line coach a hell of a lot because that man knows a lot about offensive linemen, which I guess applies to most offensive line coaches, but Callahan's the guy, right? So if he liked Latham,
see, you'd think that about position coaches.
You know what I mean.
Sometimes certain guys have jobs, and it doesn't really track.
Yeah.
Nepotism hires.
Well, thankfully Callahan isn't a nepotism hire, even though ironically he is their new head coach's dad. It's not a nepotism thing. It's just a, hey, he's my dad, so I'm going to poach him from Cleveland because he's really fucking good at what he does. But yeah, no, it's weird. The Titans are weird. I don't know what to make of them ever. And until we know what Will Levis is, I don't think that'll change. What the fuck is this guy doing?
So Jake.
What's up, boys?
That is not your normal setup.
No.
No, it's not. No, I'm in Delaware.
Why are you in Delaware?
Who the hell goes to Delaware?
So I got really into college football, so I'm out here scouting
Oh,
for my
okay.
Delaware dynasty.
Okay.
It's not good over here, boys.
Bro is
They
being
weren't lying.
chased down. Obviously, he keeps
They
like
weren't lying when they said
checking
that.
the window.
Yeah, they're not lying when they said that it's not good over here, man.
What are the
We got some
prospects
work to
watching
do.
you through your window? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, well, yeah. My 1-star QB who I'm replacing is standing just directly in my window, just staring me down. I think he knows. I think he knows I've been talking to like some of the 5-stars, but yeah, it'll be okay.
Uh, so I I don't know what to do now. Why is he here?
I don't
Well,
know, man.
we said we were recording at 11, and it's okay. I'm 6 minutes late. Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ooh.
normally if you're late, that just means you're not coming.
yeah, you've kind of
Well, okay.
established that precedent.
Yeah, well, I decided to be different today. I figured I'm
don't-
in a different state. You know how close I am to you, Miller? You know how close I
Uncomfortably
am to you?
close. Closer than you would be
I
on a
can
normal
smell
day.
ya.
I don't know if he's
Yeah,
quite that
I don't
close.
actually don't know how close I am to. Hold up, I'm not gonna wait.
No, you're
Dogs
closer
him.
than you would be
Dogs him.
normally.
For sure.
Okay, 4 hours. I can do
Yeah.
that tonight. Yeah, well, not tonight. I'll be there in the
I
Tonight?
can do
morning.
that tonight. We're getting off this
I'll
call,
be
and
there
I
in the
am
morning.
going to be there.
I'm just gonna get on my phone and talk while I'm driving. Just kidding. I don't have a car. I'm on vacation.
I
That'd
don't
be
have a
silly.
car. Bro's gonna go rent a car just to drive to Miller.
That would be crazy.
Okay, the commitment to
would
the
be.
bit would be so respectable at that point, though.
I can't
Yeah.
even rent the car, dude.
That's
Oh, yeah.
true.
I'm not even old enough to rent the
Youngin.
How
car.
old do you have to be to rent a car? I thought it
No,
was 21.
25.
It's 25?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I've been
Wonky.
driving
That's
for
why
3 years, and I'm still 4 years away from being able to rent a car.
I'm
That doesn't-
finally nearing being able to rent a
I
car.
was going to say, Jake and I could
Wait,
go get
wait.
hammered right
He's
now
not
in
25
Delaware,
yet?
but we can't rent a car. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I low-key thought Geek was like 20. Never mind. I thought he was 25.
What do you
No,
mean
24.
you thought Geek was 25? Are
Well, I thought he just turned 25 this year.
you
I got his
rapscallion?
age off.
No,
Wait,
just
Oh,
yeah.
remember,
man.
he would have been a senior our freshman year in high school. Put that into perspective for a second.
Wait, Miller, are you 21 yet? You are.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a month younger than you.
Okay. Next RTN TikTok video. Me and Miller go to a bar in Maryland, and we just see what happens.
And we just see what happens. Vlog. Well,
I don't
ow,
know what-
Fuck, I just
yeah.
punched my ear.
I mean, I think I would just end up fighting somebody after they'd say something negative about a fullback. Like, we'd get involved with some guy at the bar having a conversation about football. And he'd be like,
Who in
yeah.
Maryland would be like, "Hey, screw fullbacks, man"?
No,
Just out of the blue.
it would be like a Commanders fan, and they'd be hyping up the Commanders, and I'd be like, yeah, it'd be a lot better if Alex Arma was still on the team. I'd be like, that Arma guy's a fucking bum, and then it would start a fight.
And then Miller would just swing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no
I'd
hesitation.
I'd watch. I wouldn't. I don't do anything.
Damn.
What a friend
Well, okay, if it
Jake
got-
is.
Well, what if by saying I would watch, couldn't that also mean that I believe Miller will be just fine, and I trust his abilities? Why does it have to be like, oh, I think Miller is going to die, and I want to see that? What if I'm just standing there with like the RTN TikTok, just
Right.
No, yeah, that's how I think that would go. You're standing there just world star.
I just want to throw out there, I just glanced over a Geek's Twitch chat, and Valente just
Oh,
pointed
boy.
out that Geek is a super senior.
I don't know. What?
He said bro just called Geek a super senior, which isn't
what the fuck is
exactly
that?
true, but it's really funny. You don't know what a super senior is?
No.
It's a kid that got held back at some point, so they're above 18 and still a senior. And it's
Oh.
usually associated with like people who are creeps, and like
wait.
usually they
New idea. Are seniors not normally 18, like by the time they graduate?
by the time they graduate, yeah, but I'm saying like they start the year
Oh,
18 going on
oh.
19.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have turned 18 like halfway
The
through. my
easier
senior
way
year.
to explain that, 5th year senior. But like high school.
Gotcha.
And the stereotype is like they're creepy towards the freshmen.
No, I was basically like a second year senior. I was a senior when I should have been a sophomore.
Geek
Yeah, but
was
you-
smarter than all the other cornfields in Wyoming. He was number
True.
one.
It's
He
true.
was number one.
While
Man.
It's
they were all
true.
farming, this guy picked up a textbook.
That's like actually
The
kinda
only
how it
one at the
works.
school Geek picked up and read.
Yeah, it was really old. It just kept talking about the Great War. It like totally forgot there was a second one. They didn't forget it
Yeah,
was
like-
printed in 1922.
Wyoming doesn't believe that anything happened after World War One. They're like, you know
Maybe
what?
not.
You know what? Nothing.
They simply were not involved. When everything was going on over in Germany, Wyoming said, nah. Not us.
Would anything be different about this country's history if Wyoming didn't exist? I'm just
Yes.
putting it out there. Okay, well,
Actually,
See,
what
this is the
is
difference
Wyoming was
between
the
me and
first
Geek.
state to let women vote.
Oh, god damn it. You have like a cool thing.
okay.
Get
So
fucked.
that yeah, if it had been something lame, we could have like ripped it to
Yeah, you
shreds.
can't even dispute
But-
that. It's like, yeah, that's pretty universally accepted as pretty good.
If he had been like, well, actually,
good.
corn exists because of Wyoming, I would have been like, whatever, nerd. But
Yeah.
not
I
this.
I mean, also
this
Yellowstone's kind of cool.
Yeah, no one cares about Yellowstone.
good TV
That's
show,
just
bad
weirdly
place.
not true.
Actually, it's probably no, it's a good TV show. It's probably a good place
Eh.
too.
I've never
Is
watched
So I'm gonna
Is
say
it a good
bad place
TV
because I've
show?
never been there. It's a fantastic TV show. I think it's good.
Eh.
I like Kevin Costner.
Okay,
Little
that's
bit.
what we need. Run the
What?
North alive from Yellowstone. Just fucking.
We're just like
buffalo in the
sitting on a
background.
canyon.
Yeah, just
Can we
buffalo
do
in the
it
background.
inside of a canyon?
Sure.
We're like stuck down there, like we can't
I'm
get
down.
out. It's a one-way trip down there, and then the next TikTok video is just a series of us trying to survive. Oh,
My
dude,
chat is calling
this
me
is-
old currently, and
this
it's
is
pretty
It's
rude.
incredible.
well, you are 3 years older than anybody else on the show, so
Yeah.
do the
You
math.
need
You are
David
on-
riding a bison.
Yeah.
Ah, brother.
Yeah. Put the fries
Brother.
in the
Oh,
bag,
yeah.
streamer.
Hey, maybe we should get back to running the North. Since
we'll
we've
put
been
the
Is that not what
completely
we've been doing?
derailed.
I didn't know what
This
was
is
going
a
on. I just
sports
showed up.
podcast,
Okay.
and we
You
have
guys could
been very much not
Hey,
talking about.
Pardon me, but
I've been government
Look at what
named.
Valente
Goddamn.
said.
there's a reason why. Oh,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, yeah,
I didn't
you're
want.
good.
Now
Go
I don't
ahead,
want to
Jake.
say it. Anyway, sorry, Chandler. It really.
Damn.
I hate it.
feels so weird.
Never again. You
Government
don't get to
so
say that
weird.
ever again.
Why?
It
I
feels
forget
wrong.
that you have a name.
That's
It's
fair, 'cause
crazy.
most people should.
It's like I didn't-
There's a reason. Literally everybody only calls me geek.
I just forget it. Sorry. But I would like to point out when I first got here, I tried to keep us on the sports train by talking about my Delaware scouting, and somehow, some way, it still got
Yeah,
derailed.
you
So
derailed
I
it
don't
by
know what
saying
I'm
I'm
supposed to do.
weirdly close to you and then going on this drinking tangent and then the renting a
is
car
true.
tangent.
Yeah.
It-
You kind of
okay.
caused the derailment.
Talking a lot of smack for somebody I'm only 4 hours and 28 minutes away from, pal. It's no longer like 11 hours.
Oh.
Is it?
I
I
don't-
don't know how geography
Alright,
works.
Where's
I
hold on.
just added the time it took to get to Delaware to the time it takes from Delaware to Maryland, but I'm not sure that's how it works.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if this is the actual town Miller's in, but that is
I'm
where
sure
he
it
goes to
is.
college.
It's where he goes to school. It's got to be close.
Yeah.
He doesn't live
Uh,
on campus.
Only a
so-
quick 23-hour drive.
All right. If
You,
you
can
leave
shave
now,
like 15 minutes off that because I live 15 minutes
I'll leave.
that way from campus. Like 15 minutes
I'll
in
live-
your direction.
I'll leave in
Nice.
19 hours. You leave now. We'll meet up at Miller's house. We'll jump him, and then we'll
Then
record
go
the
get
podcast.
breakfast. Oh, or that.
Yeah, we can get breakfast. I really, I
Do I
would
get
like,
to come to
I would like
breakfast?
If you survive the jumping, yeah.
It's
Well-
jumping.
Well, we are armed in this home.
Valente, I don't anymore. Those are all really old videos. You freak.
What?
But yeah,
You should do some weird stuff for content.
low key feel like David wins the jumping. I can almost promise he doesn't.
I
By
would
almost
like,
promise, I can guarantee.
It would be
Hey,
another situation where Geek would jump him, and I would just You know how good content that would
Hey,
be. All right, football.
Miller, you ever actually been in a fight though?
No, I know I would suck in a fight because I have no
Yeah, okay.
experience.
Yeah.
I think I got this one.
Yeah,
All right,
anyways,
I'm gonna set this one out then.
what's in the quick ball?
Already? Dude,
Yeah.
how long y'all been recording? Jeez, how late was I? Okay. Movie or TV show?
No.
Neither.
Is it like some weird video game thing?
Nope.
D&D.
No.
One day there's gonna be a Pokemon in there.
One
I
day.
mean, we named all the media Pokemon exists in, so unfortunately,
It's true.
is it sports related?
Kind of. Sports adjacent.
Kind of. Sports. What is sports adjacent, Miller? Sports
Like,
adjacent
it's-
could be like
It's related to
chess.
sports, but it exists in its own world without sports.
Is it
Or
chess?
could. No, it's not chess.
What is this guy yapping about?
Is this
I don't.
is this an item that we have seen before on this podcast? Do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. Not in this specific frame.
Do you think either of me or Geek have laid our eyes on this item in the past week? Would you guess that we would have based on how?
I would say there's a very strong
A
possibility.
Lego?
No, it's not a Lego.
Is it Lego? Ugh. Is it a toy?
It's not a toy.
Oh my goodness. This sucks. Is it another quick ball? Is it a mini quick ball inside
I
of the quick
wish.
ball?
No.
Like
No,
a Russian
unfortunately.
nesting doll? Okay. It's not sports related. Sports adjacent. You got anything?
Not at
I
all.
will give you one hint.
Okay.
It is orange.
Does it have to do with the Chicago Bears?
Again, not directly, but it can be sometimes.
What?
Is it so it's not from a TV show?
Is it
No.
like it?
It's probably appeared in a TV show, but it's not like directly from one.
Is it an indoor object? Is this object primarily used indoors?
Yeah, I would say so. Although you could use it outdoors just as often, but I would say indoors more so.
When it is used indoors, what room of a house would it be most used in?
Most use probably the kitchen, but realistically any.
Like an outside item? Is it like a what in the name of God is he
Yeah,
doing?
I got nothing.
This segment's gone off the rails.
Do you want me to just tell you?
I'm gonna submit one final guess.
Okay.
An actual orange.
No, it's not.
Okay.
What the fuck is it?
It's
Then?
a
Open it.
Gatorade bottle cap.
I hate you.
Oh goodness gracious, dude! What is wrong with you?
A lot of things. They're just undiagnosed.
Yeah.
Don't
fair.
go quiet after that. Don't sit with that
What a-
information.
What am I supposed
What
to
am I
do?
supposed to say?
Listen,
dog?
well, he's clearly got
Get
some issues.
diagnosed.
I'll be there in 4 hours.
All right. So, anyways, what are we supposed to be doing right now?
Huh? I don't
I don't know.
What is this
You
episode?
tell me anything. Well, I actually do know, but for the
Uh-huh.
comedic bit, I'm not gonna say it.
Are we ranking
Okay, wait, but
quarterbacks
like
this
I-
week? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. Are we, Jake, or are we doing special teams, special plays, special players, or whatever?
Well, when I was on Geek Stream, well, not on Geek, when I was in his chat, couple like last week, and I said I could maybe record Run the North while on vacation. He was like, "Oh, let's do quarterbacks then." And so,
So
But we didn't know if you were gonna be here.
yeah.
So all right, we're
'cause
doing
that's
quarterbacks.
not exactly a guarantee. I fear.
Ouch.
I mean,
You're
calling
right.
He's
it
right.
how it is.
Shots.
he's right. He's right. Sorry, guys.
So we're doing quarterbacks. Okay, so Jake, I don't know if
Sure.
you've been keeping up with these, but the way we've been doing them is we start out by just
yeah,
kind
of course.
naming off a couple guys that we think are like locks to be the top 5, top 6 maybe, and then we kind of debate going backwards. So we start at 10 and then go backwards. So I would say for quarterbacks, Mahomes, obviously, in terms of our locks. Mahomes,
Yeah.
Lamar,
Yep. Allen, Herbert, Burrow.
Jake, do you have any
Just
qualms with
leave
that?
the lock as that.
I do not know.
Not in that order, but those names being our top. What would that be? 6?
No. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Burrow. 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's our top 5. In some order, we'll get
Yeah,
to that.
I don't have any qualms with that. No.
Okay. So I'm gonna get my phone so I can write this down.
So now we've got to sort through. I don't know. I wrote down for some reason like 20 names total. So we've got to sort 15 down into 5.
Yeah. What names
So
do you have? Let's just go off of your list because I didn't really prepare a list because I
yeah,
just kind of.
So full list. To be goofy because it's fun to be goofy. I'm gonna just start with the guys who aren't actually in the running. It's just funnier to say that they are.
Okay.
So you got your Caleb Williams, your Russell Wilson, your Tua's, Jared Goff, Baker. Those are your like bottom of the list, and I don't really know if anybody wants to argue for any of them.
To be higher than bottom
Except
of
for
the list or to be top 10?
either way.
I think you could say Tua maybe breaks in a little higher, but not top 10. Like
Sure.
11 to
I
15
know somebody would
range.
argue Goff can too, and I would argue watch ball. Don't just go with, but Detroit won games. Yeah, fuck off.
As the one guy
Okay.
on this podcast who tried to defend Jared Goff one time, no.
Hey,
Absolutely not.
No, you both did, and it was a perfect storm of a week where you both tried to defend Jared Goff, and he decided to immediately go have the worst game of the year for himself.
Oh my god.
And I victory lapped every bad throw. It was rough. It was funny though.
I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, no, Goff.
How do you not?
Goff is
I don't know.
pretty overrated, I fear.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's the next 5 you got?
So that cuts us down into like the actual like top 10 argument range.
Mm-hmm.
Miller's going to be really proud of me for the guy I'm going to say first, but this is probably where I'd have him lowness wise. Brock Purdy.
Okay.
We're gonna have to talk about him for sure.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud. That is the guys I have on my list right outside the top 10.
Okay, so real quick, I know quarterbacks are kind of evaluated differently than every other position.
Yeah.
So are we sticking with the injury matters, or how are we handling that? Because if so, we can take Kirk and Rodgers off right away.
I think because of both, I think like Burrow had the injury, so we could have talked about it, but we're not gonna for Burrow. I think Rodgers and Cousins have this other thing where they are also old.
Yeah. Okay.
So it actually does like there is more of a question. How do you bounce back from that?
Okay.
At least to me.
I think when healthy, Kirk at least borders on top 10, and Rodgers, I mean, the last time we saw him healthy, I would say he was a top 10 quarterback. But Rodgers is over 40 now. Injuries are continuing to pile up. You know, he had the hand injury the year before. Last year, he tears his Achilles in the first game. We know he doesn't like to get traditional treatment, so who knows how that healing process has actually went. And then with Kirk tearing his Achilles as well, yeah, it's tough. I would say when healthy, there's an argument, but
valid. I would agree. Jake, any thoughts?
No, I mean, not really outside of what you guys have said. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Love is not outside the top 10, personally, but
I
that's
just
mine.
think it's the same thing with Stroud. He did it for a year. He might not be good next year. We've seen guys have a sophomore slump. We can't guarantee that he's a top 10 guy.
I have been the big proprietor in this, with the exception of Bijan Robinson. He was the lone exception.
Nope. Technically
Who was the other
not.
one?
I think didn't Ivan Pace like get tied for 10 as well? Didn't we do both? We might not have. I don't remember anymore.
With Pace.
We might have just put him at 11 and called it good.
I think
trying
we
to
did
see.
that. I think
I don't
we
know
said
if I wrote it
Pace
down.
was 11.
I didn't write it down.
Yeah, because I have everything written down.
Yeah.
I don't have Pace. So I think we said Pace was borderline. But with the exception of Bijan Robinson, we haven't ranked any second-year players. And Love, I know he's been in the league for longer than a year, but we've seen him play for a year. So as much as like if we were just ranking purely off of last year, which is not really what we're doing, then yeah, they're both top 10. I don't think there's much of an argument to be made. But if we're talking about the grand scheme of things, personally, I wouldn't put either of them top 10. And that's not a Love is a Packer thing. That's I want to see more. You know, because even with Love looking really good, it's not like he did that for a full season. Even it was the back half of the year where he really picked up and was playing elite football. Granted, he was still good before that. It just wasn't top 10 caliber play. It was more like, oh, okay, he looks like he'll be fine. And then he exploded. And it's like, oh, fuck, the Packers got another one.
It's weird how much we're agreeing on quarterbacks, but I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Are we putting Love and Stroud closer to the top 10, just because I'm intrigued, than Geno and Brock Purdy?
Yes.
Are we going like Love and Stroud is 11, 12, and then Purdy, Geno's 13, 14?
Let's think about this.
But...
Geno, how many good years of ball has Geno played?
2.
2 max.
Twice as many as the other 2.
Yeah, literally double.
And has either of his good seasons been as good as what Stroud or Love did last year? I don't think either of his 2 good seasons in the league have been better than what Love and Stroud did last year.
They're not.
Purdy, I can see it.
I was gonna say with Geno, sure they might not be better, but it's almost like a quantity over quality type thing, where at least we've seen him do it multiple times. That would be my argument.
He's proven he has the like consistency to just be that guy.
And also, I mean, it wasn't Stroud level, but let's not act like Geno's highs aren't like high, like elite quarterback play at his peak. Because Geno is someone that has really fallen under the radar, at least this past year, for like the broader NFL world. Because obviously when he didn't write back, we were all in. We were all watching Geno every week in awe of what he was doing. He was just as good last year. The Seahawks just didn't win as many football games. And that wasn't really a him thing. That was a offensive line was beat to hell and back thing. That was a defense wasn't super great thing. That was a bunch of other things. But Geno was still fucking good. It's just he was being overlooked because the Seahawks weren't winning as often. So I right now would argue Geno and I would argue Purdy over the other 2. And honestly, depending on who Geek has as these other 5 in the top 10, which I think I have an idea of, I might even want to argue Purdy as a like 10.
I'm not going to let you, but okay.
But I said depending because I'm probably forgetting someone obvious.
Dak, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
I'm not arguing Purdy over a single one of those.
I'm not either.
I will die on this hill.
My brain forgot Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't do that.
No, I would say Purdy's ceiling is at 11.
Yeah.
I would say, personally, I would go Purdy, Geno, then I would go Stroud over Love because Stroud did it for a full year, and then Love.
I think currently I would go Geno, Stroud, Love, Purdy. And that is entirely based off of just how I just view them as a play. The way I'm going to look at all of this is if I were to take Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud and switch their positions, whose team gets better and whose gets worse.
Sure.
And in all of those cases, the team gets worse with Brock Purdy and gets better with the other guy. And that's not a shot at Brock Purdy. I just think the other 3 are more talented. Mm-hmm. Which we've also seen, though. Tom Brady wasn't the most talented quarterback in the league fucking one time. Not 1 year of his career.
Right. But he was that doesn't best always at executing a very specific offense that most quarterbacks would be able to execute. And I'm not saying that to like dunk on you. I'm just adding to your point and trying to say that that is why I'm so impressed by Purdy.
Sure.
Because Shanahan's offense, especially from a quarterback perspective, I know we looked at Jimmy Garoppolo running it and we're like, any quarterback could do it. It's not as simple as that. Because
so I look at Nick Mullins, actually, putting up stats maybe better than Purdy in his time in San Fran. And outside of interceptions, obviously, because Nick Mullins is Nick Mullins. But my look for that is always just like, Nick Mullins crushed it in that offense also. And no, I don't think every quarterback actually could. There is so much to the way that offense works. But I do think any of the guys that we are talking about right now absolutely could.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, we're talking
So,
about the best of the best at this
At
point.
that point, we're looking
Yeah.
at just purely what they can do after that, at
Yeah.
least to me.
But I'm
And
saying,
all
like,
of those guys have extra layers. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the guy who's like, Purdy's bad, at least not anymore. I view him as a better Goff, a better Garoppolo.
yeah,
I view him
he
in the same
is-
light as almost a Kirk, where he's not
Yeah.
the talent guy,
So
but he can do what he has to.
I know I've said on here before 100 different times my idea of a game manager not inherently being derogatory.
Right.
And I flip-flop back and forth because I don't want to use that term, but like the idea of like a point guard, like a quarterback whose
Yeah.
sole job is just to execute and distribute. They're not, improvising a ton. It's not a lot of their sheer willpower or their sheer pure talent making the actual plays. They're just able to execute at a really high level. I would say the best example of that in the league right now is Joe Burrow, and even then he teeters on being more than that. And that's fine, because that's what Tom Brady was. Tom Brady was an incredibly high-level point guard that when he had to, he rose above it. And that's what Burrow is.
Yeah.
Whereas a
And
guy
I think
like
Purdy is
Purdy,
Cousins level.
Cousins, Goff at his peak, which is inconsistent, those guys are like, they're going to raise your ceiling by a lot. Or how do I want to put this? They're going to raise your floor by a lot because they're going to distribute very, very well. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to need somebody else to step up and make the big play in the big moment. Like the Niners, obviously, we see Christian McCaffrey step up time and time again. Last year, Ayuk was stepping up big for them. Kittle's done it. Debo's done it. Very rarely is it like, wow, that was all Purdy. It's like, Purdy set him up.
Yeah.
Or Purdy set X up to be great.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Technically speaking, that's what the quarterback position was for the first, 80 years of football existing.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. We've been blessed and almost spoiled by the Mahomeses, the Herberts, the Allens, the Jacksons, the whoever. That is just different.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes these guys look worse in comparison. But no, Purdy's really good. But I do agree, if you were to put any of the guys I just named and any of the guys that'll come up in conversation here in a minute that do have a little bit more of that, I don't want to say it factor, but kind of that. The it factor isn't real, but what that actually means, the having the ice in your veins, the ability to step up, to make the big play in the big moment, put the team on your back.
I think the it factor just is real. It's something that isn't truly quantifiable. You can't watch a college quarterback and you go, that guy has it and that guy doesn't. There's no way to know until they do it. And you have to see that. And it's not truly quantifiable in you can point at a number or you can point at a play. You just have to look at their overall, what they do throughout a season, a career, a period of time, and go, that guy there's something different when this guy is on the field, that it's just a level above. And we are spoiled with the fact that there's right now
no more Jake.
I guess
that is what is
with
right
the
now.
fact that right now, if we add Aaron Rodgers into this because of injury, we're looking at 13 or 14 guys that have that something special. And Caleb Williams could join that. Jaden Daniels could. Any of the rookies could. And we can't really point at one. I think the guy with the best chance to do it is Caleb. And I know that makes Miller happy, but we don't actually know. Because it could be, Jaden Daniels, who just coming out, nobody thought Lamar was going to be Lamar. And then now he is. Coming out, nobody thought Brady was going to be Brady. So maybe that's going to be JJ. Who knows?
I
Who
would
knows?
say
We can't. I think the guys we can point to that probably don't have that are Penix and Nix.
Yeah, certainly. I would say, if anything, the it factor, because you make a really good point. Because my brain, when I hear it factor, it's 60-year-old man in a bar being like, that boy just got it. I don't know what it is. And he's talking about like the third string quarterback because he's white and
Yeah.
came from a blue collar school. Like that type of it factor. But
Right.
like realistically, it is just like that ability to rise to the occasion, to
Yeah.
be what your team needs in that moment. And yeah, I mean, Purdy, I would say doesn't have it from what we've seen so far,
Right.
but
It can develop later.
Right.
It did for Gino.
yeah,
Well, not like, yeah, it did
a
for
version
Gino.
of it, a version of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like Gino's
So, like-
not elite, but he's got a little bit of that dog in him, right?
Yeah. And like, if Purdy develops just that, the Niners might win a Super Bowl finally.
Yeah,
And he is not the reason they lose. The reason they lose is because there's really not a world where they get to the Super Bowl and don't have to play one of those guys.
right, exactly. You can
So-
win a ring with a guy like this.
Yeah,
It's
it's just really tough in this world.
Yes. If this was, say, Purdy was the Niners quarterback in 2012, totally different story.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
if, there's a lot of quarterbacks that were, I don't even know, what was the 2012 Super Bowl? Who was AFC? Was that Denver? That was 2013.
No, wasn't that the Niners Ravens Bowl because it was the Brother Bowl?
It was. That's really ironic. I didn't mean to do that. I just pulled 2012 out of my ass. But yeah, like,
It might be a year off.
you put
but, like,
Purdy
whatever.
on that Niners team, they probably win a ring.
Probably.
Because the guy on the other side was Flacco. Flacco didn't have that it factor either.
No.
Flacco rode a good defense and did enough. He
Yep.
did enough. He didn't lose any games for them. And that's what separates Purdy from the Garoppolos, from the Mullinses, from the whoever else.
Yep.
He's the first quarterback the Niners have had that doesn't lose them games with egregious turnovers, terrible decisions. Like, I always think back to that one throw Garoppolo had against the Chiefs where it was like very obviously just throw it away. And he's like slipping and he's like, I'm going to make it work. And he like tries to toss it to the left and he gets picked off. Like,
Yeah, that wasn't what I was thinking of. Mine is always just the miss to Emmanuel Sanders.
oh my
That
God.
wins them the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That is always my thought. It's like, it's one of those where it's like, dude, if they even had Kirk Cousins, they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back before Kirk had his like big year. Like before Kirk was the guy we all finally became the guy everybody like wanted him to be basically. Yeah. So like, it's like if they had Kirk, it was one of those weird, like I love to bring up because it was, when Derek Carr wasn't completely ass. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if they had Derek Carr, they win that game.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those like, dude, they got screwed because of Jimmy G,
Mm-hmm.
which is tough. And they're not going to do that with Purdy.
Yeah.
So, which gives the Niners a chance because there's always a chance that in one of those, Super Bowls against a Mahomes or an Allen, they can keep it close.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other guys can make the play.
Yeah.
And then, it's all good.
And then
Um,
too, I want to throw out that's what separates those guys from like Jared Goff. Because like
Yep.
Goff makes those mistakes. He throws those
Yep.
interceptions. He does that stupid shit where pressure gets to him and he throws to a corner that's by himself, not anywhere near a wide receiver. Like
Yep.
that's why Goff's not a guy you can win a ring with because he makes the dumb decisions and what separates him from these other guys.
Depends on which version of Kirk you get coming out of this.
True.
You get the post KOC Kirk or the pre KOC Kirk,
Right.
which is why I would have out of like this list of guys, I'd have Kirk the lowest
Yeah.
right now.
Just because it's so
Like, 'cause
variable.
Him and Rodgers are low because of injuries to begin with, and then it really does depend. Did he really learn from KOC, or did KOC really help him just with the way that offense was? The same way he helped Dobbs and Nick Mullins.
Right. So then getting into the top 10, what were your 5 names again? I completely
So
forgot.
the next 5 in the top 10 are Dak, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so I'll tell you up front, I think Stafford and Dak are the 2 best of that group. You did not make noise. Oh, you're speaking to your
No,
chat.
I muted to
Okay.
get them.
But yeah, I think Stafford and Dak are the 2 best of that group, personally.
I agree.
Okay. In that order?
I really
Stafford
think
over Dak?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have that talk in a second.
Okay. I was just
I
curious.
think Hurts falls in the middle. this group.
Yeah, because
I
Hertz
think
is the
9,
most
10 is Lawrence Murray.
Yeah, because out of that group,
Or
I would
w-
say Hertz is the most consistent. Like out of those
Yes.
three, out of those bottom three.
Yes. Yep.
Because Trevor, while I was talking earlier about how Calvin Ridley didn't do him any favors, and I still stand by that,
100%.
Trevor still has his moments.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger at heart. You know, he
Yes.
tries to make throws that he's not going to be able to make. And there's always going to be downfalls with that. And when you are that player and you're not Josh Allen, it's going to go against you a little bit more. And even then with Allen, it goes against him too. And I'm sure we'll have that conversation. But like,
Yeah.
especially when you're not Josh Allen, it's like you can still be a top 10 quarterback. It's just hard to be. However, I think because of his availability, I'd still put him over Kyler. But if we get a
That's
fully
my
healthy,
tough thing is
Right.
Kyler and Trevor is weird.
I just think being there matters, and between these two quarterbacks, because I get it when Kyler's on the field, he might be a top 6 most talented quarterback, top 5
Yeah.
maybe. I would say
Yeah.
top 6. I don't really think he has an argument for top 5.
Trying to think of who you'd have above him. What hurts? Like Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, Herbert. Who's the next guy?
Oh yeah, I guess if we're talking pure talent, okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
Burrow wouldn't be more talented.
Right. Yeah.
Then yeah, I would say he's 5th probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe Caleb, but
let's wait.
do
As much
you
as
want to
I
have the
love it,
Oklahoma
let's
argument
wait.
yet?
Let's wait.
I just
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, no,
but-
I understand that, but no.
The best ability is availability, and Kyler isn't most of the time.
Yeah, but you know what is available?
Something gross on the floor?
The mouse I just watched run across the floor.
Uh-oh, bro has a mouse.
I do. That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
I shall name him Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, or
I mean, that's what the inspiration would be, yes.
gotcha.
Even though Stimpy was the big one.
That's okay.
I still like the name. It's a funny name. But yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
just because it's become a genuine knock on Kyler at this point, because it's happened so often, I would put
Yeah.
Trevor above him. But then
That's
again,
fair.
on the flip side, I couldn't get that mad if you just wanted to say, okay, but watch him throw deep ball. Because, like, fair.
See, it's weird. Trevor, I think, is in a weird spot because, like you were saying, gunslinger, but he's not Josh Allen. I really think Trevor has that top 5 most talented quarterback argument. His arm's
Yeah.
nuts, dude.
Mhm.
And, like, yeah, it might not work, but a lot of me feels like that might be because his receivers kind of suck.
Yeah. And like I said, Ridley was #1 in the league on target drop percentage last year. And that makes things look
Yeah.
a lot worse.
Yeah. And when your receivers are playing that badly, you do
Oh, no. Oh,
internet
no.
crap. Okay,
Yeah.
internet had a moment. All right,
Your
that's fine.
internet?
I don't know.
Okay, because mine was fine. You just went do and then became a black screen.
Yeah, I don't
Spooky.
know. Well, I saw it freeze and just
Uh-huh.
kind of like stopped. Like, oh,
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
happening? But like the Allen type thing where you end up making mistakes just because you're trying to overcompensate for how bad it is.
Yeah.
And you're playing true hero ball. And Trevor's not going to do that by running.
Mhm.
That's not his game. He can move a little, but that's not his game.
He's an improviser. He's
He's-
not a scrambler.
Yeah. Right. The same thing, basically, not putting him on the same level, but the same thing as like a Mahomes,
Mhm.
where Mahomes can take off and run, but he doesn't.
Because he doesn't need to. That's not
Right.
how
He's
he
just
wins.
going to run around and finally find the throw.
Right. See, I think.
Oh,
Oh no, yeah, it's happening again. I'm just going to talk. Part of the problem too with Trevor is the expectations that were placed on him, because you had like
I think it's him.
the golden child,
time.
the pretty boy.
I don't actually know, but stream is still up.
Okay, so he's talking, but he can't. Okay, there we go. Now you're working. Now you're good.
It would appear to be a him.
Yeah,
problem.
it must be my
He's
internet
him.
because I told you beforehand
There we
my
go.
internet was being stupid.
No, I know. I
Um,
wasn't sure. That time I was checking.
yeah, but what I was trying
It
to,
did appear to be you.
I just started talking, so I'm going to talk now.
Smart. Yeah.
But no, part of the problem too with Trevor, I think, maybe not so much with us specifically, but like just in the general, in like the mainstream and whatnot, the expectations for him were so high because he was painted
Mm.
as the Messiah, the golden boy, for lack of better words. You know, the pretty boy coming in with the long flowing blonde hair, looking like he's straight out of Remember the Titans.
He's
And then,
got the hate that Andrew Luck, had coming his way,
right,
and that Elway did, and that Caleb is about to.
right.
When you're labeled generational, the expectations are different.
Right, and he didn't have the added benefit that specifically Caleb will have. But I think if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, Andrew Luck's situation wasn't horrible when he walked into Indianapolis. I'm a little too
It wasn't
green to remember.
outside of O-line, it wasn't horrible.
Right, like I meant he had weapons and he had a good
Yeah.
coach.
No, yeah.
So he walked into Urban Meyer and a whole lot of nothing. And that is going to hurt you. And you got to realize too, like that set him back a little bit. So Trevor realistically is a year behind where he should be because of that, because of the Nick Saban bullshit, because of not having the best supporting staff his rookie year. And the fact that he was able to show a lot that year in terms of poise, in terms of being able to step up, again, for lack of better words, that it factor was on display as a rookie. And he's only continued to grow from there, hasn't regressed, hasn't taken any steps back. There's a reason why the Jaguars just paid him all the money they did. There's a reason why we're having this conversation about him. He's really fucking good in spite of a lot of bullshit. And honestly, you're going to call me crazy for this. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I personally think I'd have him above Hurts, but I'm not going to push back too far on the Hurts thing because I get it.
Could make the argument, but as we've said, Hurts, if we were just arguing pure talent, not a question.
Yeah.
But Hurts has now been really good multiple years in a row without as many of the downsides.
Yeah.
Hurts still has a bit of an issue holding the football.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean fumbling.
He do got that Fields bozo gene, I fear.
A little bit. It's really weird. Because somehow, like, in the Super Bowl, that's the part that gets remembered is his fumble and not the fact that he played also maybe the greatest game of any quarterback in a Super Bowl ever.
You know what they say?
Outside of that one moment.
History is written by the victors. And
See,
the victors are the one who
just some
forced that
bullshit.
fumble.
History is written by the survivors.
Well, Hurts and the Eagles did not survive that game as they did lose.
Damn.
Yeah,
See,
sorry,
that
we
makes
can't
more
break
sense when it
Jalen
comes to
Hurts.
a
He
history.
is dead.
See, so that my argument there, the history is written by the survivors, makes a lot more sense when you're talking about history
Yeah.
than it does in this context.
I was gonna say.
But I wanted
Yeah.
to insert it there because it's like when you think about, wars, we still hear about all the bad shit that the victors did because history's not written by the victor. It's written by the survivors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, America on top. Jalen Hurts at 7.
Sure.
So just to recap, that's Kyler at 10 or at
Jalen
8.
Hurts at 8.
Yeah. Because that would be Kyler at 10, Lawrence at 9. I'm bad at counting.
Jalen Hurts at 8. Now we got Dak and Stafford.
Okay, I'm curious where you go with this. I want to hear your opinion here.
On my list, have Dak at 6, Stafford at 7.
Why is that?
Mostly health. Stafford's been injured his entire life.
Okay,
Like,
but the thing is with Stafford with injuries, he's never like let that stop him.
Sure.
Like I want to see. I'm just checking for my own sake. How many games does Stafford like actually miss? Like I know one year he had to miss. He's never. Okay.
I mean, he missed 2 last year. He missed 7 the year before.
Yeah.
8 the year before that.
No, it was 8 in 2019.
It was 8 in 2022 also.
Oh,
There's 17
sorry,
games.
I counted wrong. Again, I'm bad at
But it was
math.
also 8 then too.
Uh-huh.
And then it was, 6 his rookie year, 13 his second year.
But then
Then
after that,
yes,
a lot
he
of
had a
help.
nice run where he was just banged up.
Yeah.
But we're also looking at a 36-year-old who hasn't played a
Yeah.
healthy season in 2 years.
Right. I understand that.
But like, I'm not gonna try. Like, Stafford's more talented than Dak in every way, and if we want to argue that Stafford's better, we absolutely can.
Yeah.
I just personally had Dak rated higher. As we said, the best ability is availability, and
Right. The
Stafford's not always.
pushback I would give to that is Stafford is somebody that you and I have seen firsthand. We talk about this it factor. Stafford is the it factor. He doesn't just
Stafford
have it.
Is the it factor.
He is the it factor. I mean, what was the stat for like 6 years when he led the league in fourth quarter comebacks? And it was like by double digits. Like it was something
on
stupid
a team
like
that was
that.
winning 4 games.
Right. Right. Like Stafford's clutch gene and his approach to the game of football are unreal. And when you pair that with one of the best arms in NFL history, still to this day, even at 36, pinpoint accuracy. What? What are you shaking your head about?
Valente shouting himself out in my stream for some reason.
Ayo, shout out Valente Talk Saints. But anyways, yeah, Stafford, again, pinpoint accuracy, elite arm, reads the field perfectly, amazing pocket awareness, amazing pocket manipulation ability. He can move a little bit better than you'd expect from a 36-year-old pocket passer. Like, obviously he's not scrambling, but he can get out of the pocket and make some things happen. With Dak, I don't want to say that it factor isn't there, but I would say out of the guys that we're going to talk about here in the top 7, he's the one where I'm the most like, how much does he really have of that?
I think a lot more than people give him credit for.
I agree with that.
Out of all of these guys, he has played with by far the worst supporting cast in his career so far. He is the guy who, like, every single one of his playoff losses, his defense has given up more than 30 points.
Yeah.
Brady couldn't overcome that. Rodgers couldn't overcome that. Mahomes doesn't overcome that. Nobody overcomes that. But Dak is the guy that we say, oh, he doesn't actually have that. Look at last year. Yeah, against the Packers, it started rough with the 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then he bounced back and played incredibly, and it didn't matter.
Okay.
He did everything he needed to do down the stretch to win, and his team didn't keep him in position to do that. And yes, some of that is his fault, and you have to give him that.
Mm-hmm.
But Mahomes has a rough first quarter. The Chiefs still have a chance.
Yeah.
Dak has a rough drive. Cowboys are out.
Yeah. I see, for some reason in my head, I was thinking those 2 interceptions happened a lot later in the game, and that was kind of where I was going with it. Because, like, last year against a really young and inexperienced Packers team, that should have been the year where Dak was like, I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to win a big playoff game. And he didn't. And, I'm not trying to get into the wins or a quarterback stat thing, because I don't swing that way. But, yeah, no. Because, I mean, what doesn't Dak have? He's aggressive. He's efficient. He's smart with the football. He has a good enough arm, not Stafford level, but good enough to make any throw he needs to. He's accurate.
Maybe only 3 other guys in the league, maybe 4, with a Stafford level arm.
The only guys in consideration are, in no order, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, and Anthony Richardson. It's those 4 and Stafford are the top 5.
I was kind of including Kyler, but that's just because he's a freak.
I mean, if we do like arm strength proportional to total size, maybe. But I think his arm just falls a tick below them. But then again, maybe that's recency bias because we haven't seen his arm on full display like we have the other guys. But even then, Anthony Richardson,
I don't know if we're gonna get to for a while.
I don't know, but
because deep threats.
Yeah.
in Arizona. Well, I guess Marv. I've already forgotten Marv exists.
It's because the NFLPA wants you to forget he exists.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, I don't want to secede Stafford here just because I'm such a strong Stafford guy, but like, you're not wrong.
Was it you that I had to argue with like 2 years ago that Stafford was great?
No, that's always been Jake.
Or 3 years ago? Would have been 3 years ago. It was like as he got to
No,
LA.
I've always been big on Stafford because a lot of my like strong bias towards older players and my strong like of older players started with like watching them with my dad and my dad being like, this guy's really good, you need to watch. And Stafford was always one where my dad would be like, hey, who are we playing this week? I'd say the Lions, and he'd go, fuck. And I'd be like, Dad, the Lions aren't good. And he goes, I know, but Stafford's going to be Stafford. And then we'd watch Stafford be Stafford. And it's like, I get it. I understand. So, no, I've always been a pretty big Stafford guy. Like, I have that ingrained in my brain from when he was with Detroit.
So I remember the minute he got traded, I made a TikTok and said, yeah, the Rams just won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is over. Wrap it up. The season doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of people being like, Stafford's not that much better than Goff. It's like, as somebody who watched Stafford be a menace with nobody, this is about to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then the Rams like doubled down. They're like, give us Von Miller and OBJ. We aren't losing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I was quite Rams just won the Super Bowl, but I do remember being pretty amped on it for multiple reasons. First of all, him leaving Detroit. Second, the Rams getting like the dude.
A real quarterback. Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way. This might
if you
help me.
Want to put Dak at 6, or 7, that's fine.
Okay, then I don't have to pull my trump card.
Like, I'm not actually hating that much.
Okay.
I
don't have to pull my trump card.
I just feel like we've only agreed almost entirely this whole point, so let's argue something. And maybe we'll argue 2, 3, 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're arguing 5, though.
Just for reference.
Yeah.
PFF has Dak at 6 and Stafford at 7. So if you wouldn't have agreed, I would have said, do you really want to copy PFF?
Wow, bro is going to PFF me. Yeah, but that was just going to give me the right to win something down the line. It's okay. That's how we do.
You say we were both going to agree at number 5. Who do you have at number 5?
Burrow.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like that's just gotta be. I feel like the other 4 are just different.
But Geek. But Geek. Herbert playoff win. Herbert playoff win.
Care.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm sorry. I was the guy who like pounded the table and still does that. Like Dan Marino is one of like the 5 greatest quarterbacks to ever live.
Yeah.
And he didn't win because that's not how winning works.
Right.
And people gotta start realizing that.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, I mean, if Herbert had a running back, he would have beaten the Jaguars in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Yes.
But
he didn't even need a good one.
Just one that could run.
Old man Zeke at that point.
Yeah.
Could just do it. Because he was still getting like 3 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like
it came down to we have to throw the ball every play because Eckler can't run between the tackles.
Yeah.
But the media will tell you good because fantasy touchdown. I despise Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler is really going to fall apart this year when B-Rob gets all the red zone snaps.
I cannot wait.
And Eckler's just doing
that assumes
Antonio
they get to the
Gibson,
red zone.
But worse. You're insane. You're such an insane hater. Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Everyone else is allowed to do it. But the second Miller's like, I don't think this guy's good. I'm Satan.
A little bit.
Damn. Anyways, who do we have at number 4?
It's a rookie with talent. We're not looking at Bo Nix and Michael Penix.
You ever see that picture of Jaden Daniels where he's going to throw the ball and his like elbows popping out?
No.
I'll have to send it to you later. It
That
makes me
edited.
so angry. No, it's real. His bone's just weird.
Oh,
Anyways, what do we
those
got at
got
number
weird
4?
bones. You might hate me, but I think it's Herbert.
Yeah.
Okay. I think 2 and 3 is the interesting one.
I don't think it is, because I think we're going to agree. See,
Are we? Who you got?
hold on. First of all, I want to talk about my glorious blonde king, Jay Herbo.
You already talked about Trevor Lawrence. Oh.
Well, no, not blonde. What is he? I get the blonde from fucking
Dirty
yellow from
blonde?
Chargers. Yeah. Either way, Herbert is my favorite quarterback that's not on the Bears. I fucking love the dude. Like, okay, have you ever sat with basketball and just admired someone's jump shot? Not because it's even necessarily efficient or because they're like a great shooter, just because it's so aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, I'm trying to think of who though.
My
Like a lot of
go-to's
my
always
brain is
Clay.
going like, that's fair. Because like Ray Allen wasn't that. I sat there like, how the fuck does that work?
Right.
He like line drives that shit.
Uh-huh. You know, like Klay Thompson to me has the prettiest jumper of all time. Because it's perfect, it's fundamental, it's not flashy. It looks, if I were to imagine a jump shot, it would be what Klay does, right?
Sure.
And I bring that up because for football, for releasing a football, for throwing a football, Herbert is that. His mechanics are so beautiful. It is genuinely like they built his right arm in a laboratory. Not to mention he's got a fucking rocket attached to it. And for him to be as smart, as accurate, as good at improvising as he is, he has everything you want in a quarterback. Literally everything. He's not Mahomes. He's not the two guys we're about to talk about. He hasn't had the success. But if you look at Justin Herbert, you're like, that guy isn't good because he hasn't won a playoff game. Please touch a blade of grass and watch a football game. I'm fucking begging you. I don't think anyone who watches us or follows us is dumb enough to think that way. I'd hope you're not. I'd hope we've built a smarter audience than that. But if you watch Justin Herbert and your takeaway is anything other than, wow, that's real football. That's beautiful. Get this man some help, please.
Wouldn't you say it's not real football because it's throwing? Doesn't real football involve quarterbacks only being handoff merchants?
That's the only good form of passing offense. Right there. One of two.
It's only Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams. Those are the only two quarterbacks that are allowed to throw the football. All other quarterbacks must hand. But no, in all seriousness, like, Justin Herbert is incredible. I can't wait until Harbaugh fixes the Chargers and he starts to fucking dominate and everyone shuts the fuck up. Like this year, yeah, it'll probably be a run-heavy offense because it's the first year and everything's not settled and their wide receiver.
Can't wait for the first play of the Chargers season to just be a fucking 80-yard bomb.
That would be so incredible.
Just because everybody thinks they're going to be run heavy and just immediately just start
Harbaugh
fucking
and Roman
it.
come out slinging. It's like, it would be even better if they line up in 21 personnel. They got like Gus Edwards with Ben Mason in the backfield. You run like a play action boot and then Ladd McConkey's just gone. That would be so perfect. That would be
honestly,
so
though, let's be honest. It wouldn't be Ladd. It would be Quentin Johnston and he'd drop it.
If he's on the team by then, yeah.
Oh my God, you have to be the dumbest person I've ever met.
Oh, God forbid I make a joke.
I mean, man, I don't know. I keep seeing Roma Dunze get cooked. He might get cut. Come on.
First of all, no. Second of all, Roma Dunze didn't do what he did last year, which was play bad.
Yeah, but you're acting like he's somehow worse than all of those receivers who played worse that are still on the team. He's still, what, wide receiver
I
2?
was making a joke.
I
It
don't
was a
care.
funny. It was a funny.
You're not gonna bully
You don't
my
have to take
glorious
everything
King
super
Quentin
seriously.
Johnston.
I know
I do
you
when
like
it comes
Quentin
to
Johnston,
QJ.
so I made fun of him because it's funny. It's called doing it for the bit. You're a content creator.
like
You
the
should know
bit.
this. You should
I
know
like
this.
bit.
You're built like a bit. Bitch.
Bro's bullying the autistic kid.
Oh, shut up. You don't get to pull that card in this situation.
I get to pull that card whenever I want to. Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, anyways, Patrick Mahomes at number 3. Moving on. Kidding.
Okay, no.
Kidding.
I
think
who do you have at 3?
I do believe it's that fella in ye old Buffalo.
Ooh, why do we agree? Now I have to argue the opposite way?
You don't have
I don't
to
want
argue.
to. I'm a Lamar guy.
I know. You don't have to argue. We can just
I
accept
was like
all the players for
original
being very
Lamar
good.
guy.
I know. Listen, the guy's a 2-time MVP, the best running quarterback of all time. Very underrated passer still somehow, because people see black quarterback go fast and think,
And he
yes, throw
joins
bad.
Matthew Stafford as just being the it factor.
Yes.
He's literally just out it factored Mahomes a couple of times.
Yeah.
Regular season games, but let's not act like Mahomes doesn't try to show up when he plays Baltimore either.
Also,
Like,
I'd like to circle back to a point you made earlier
Yes.
about a certain Ryan Prescott.
yeah.
While I'm not going to say you were wrong, I just want to say if we were to rank the guys who have had the worst supporting casts,
I mean,
Lamar's
Allen's going to be
easily second.
I don't know.
Defense has always been great. Who has he had to throw to?
I would tend to agree, except Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. And
Okay,
last year he had like a good core of weapons, not like
last year was fine, but I meant
phenomenal.
like,
But like before that, it was Andrews and Hollywood Brown.
was there like a 3-year stretch between Hollywood and like Zay Flowers and them?
Not
Am I crazy?
fuck just happened over there. I think you might be crazy, might be out of your mind. Now I gotta go look.
I'm
Because I
checking
swear
myself.
Hollywood was still there in 22.
He left in 21.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay,
so I was
so
still
There was
wrong.
a 1-year break.
Yeah,
still.
wow. So I'm just apparently that 2022 season was just Lamar's whole career in my mind.
Fair.
But yeah, no, either way, the point is his receiver
Like, that's
core is
still not perfect.
no.
I think Allen and Lamar and Herbert, obviously. Herbert's just weird.
Because he always
because,
had
like,
Keenan, but then
There was always the Chargers are weird because they always had talent.
yeah,
Like, their top end talent is always insane. But the rest of their roster is so shit. So with Herbert, it's really easy to be like, yeah, but I can point to 10 superstars on his team. Why do they suck? It's like, because all of the other guys aren't even average.
and
They're
then the
just
good
bad.
guys were injury prone for the majority
Yeah.
of their time. Like Mike Williams couldn't stay healthy. Derwin James is getting up there with injuries. Joey Bosa is getting up there with injuries. Keenan Allen's really the only like consistent support that Herbert's had, and I love Keenan Allen. I'm very blessed to have him in Chicago. Keenan Allen isn't exactly the receiver I look at and go, yeah, that's a guy that's going to save your team. He's just not that type of receiver. He's just a, hey, Herbert, it's 3rd and 6. I'm going to be open. We're going to convert here. But like down 6, needing to go 80 yards in a minute, you're not hitting Keenan on a bunch of deep routes. You know, he's just not.
You need Mike Williams, and he
Right.
probably got hurt 10 minutes ago.
Right. Or like 3rd and 25, we need to convert here. They're just going to play deep coverage if they think Keenan's going to try to beat him, because Keenan can't beat him if there's 3 guys in one area. You know, like, you need that 50-50 ball guy, and Keenan's not that. Point is, Lamar very good. Lamar very, 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 very good. And I've seen a lot of.
That happened.
I'll ask you. What
I
that
got
means in a minute.
distracted looking at the Ravens.
What are you talking about?
Deshaun Jackson
Yeah, he was there.
played for the Ravens. I forgot that happened.
Devin Hester was a Raven at one point.
I do remember that.
That was weird.
Laquan
Yeah.
Treadwell was there as well.
But you know, people have started to make the point of like, if Lamar retired today, he'd have a pretty strong Hall of Fame case. I think there are 2 quarterbacks in the league who can say that about: Lamar and Mahomes.
I definitely think there's more than that.
Yes, because there's old quarterbacks. I meant quarterbacks
Yes.
that are under the age of 30. Let's put it
Gotcha.
that way.
I was thinking You don't think Rodgers and
I
Stafford
forgot there
are-
were old heads. Sorry, I forgot old people exist.
Damn.
Listen, don't ask Miller to record a podcast after midnight. I forget.
Ooh, do you not think Josh Allen has a Hall of Fame case?
If you're retired right now, no. No MVPs, no ring.
Interesting.
He's only played for a couple years. He doesn't have like the longevity
Yet
argument.
some bozo like Eli can be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Incredible. I hate it.
Like, I mean, if I was on the committee, if Josh
I don't
Allen
know.
retired
I think
today,
Josh Allen gets in on the same deal as like Patrick Willis, and the same reason Luke Kuechly will be first ballot, and the same reason Barry and Calvin were first ballot.
yeah,
It's
but
just because they were so good.
well, hold on. Barry
Didn't have
Sanders,
anything else.
didn't Barry
Played
win
8
MVP?
years. Maybe.
Pretty sure Barry won an MVP. He won an MVP. He was a 2-time Offensive Player of the Year, 6-time first team
Okay.
All-Pro.
Calvin wasn't.
He definitely won Offensive Player of the Year, no?
Maybe.
Calvin.
I think so.
Oh no, but 3-time first team All-Pro, 2nd team All-Pro, 2-time receiving yard leader, most receiving yards in a season NFL record, among other accomplishments.
I mean, Josh Allen's been weirdly only an All-Pro once,
because Mahomes.
and Lamar,
Whereas
and
Willis,
the weird hate for Josh because he,
interception throw.
I guess.
But Willis, 6-time All-Pro, 2-time tackles leader, 2010's All-Decade Team, Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2007. And then Luke Kuechly,
Was
definitely
a depoy.
Depoy, a multiple-time All-Pro,
And D. Roy.
D-Roy, 2-time combined tackles
5-time
leader, which I don't give a rat's dick about that.
He was an All-Pro every year of his career,
Yeah.
except his rookie year when he won D. Roy, which is weird, but
So
whatever.
yeah, Josh Allen, sadly, if he retires today, compared to those guys, he doesn't have the accolades.
That's fair. I don't like it though.
I mean, if I'll put it this way, if I was on the Hall of Fame voting committee and Josh Allen retired tomorrow, yeah, I'd cast a vote for him. He'd have my
Yeah.
support. But judging by how
See,
they vote,
I stand by the threshold for Hall of Fame should have nothing to do with statistics, and in my head that makes Eli a Hall of Famer,
yeah,
which ends up
2-time
not
Super Bowl
hurting my
champion.
argument. My argument for all of it has always been, can you truly tell the history of football without that player? That's
Right.
why I think Julian Edelman should be a Hall of Famer, though the numbers say he shouldn't.
Right.
He should be. Like,
So curious,
Edelnut is very important.
curious.
In go.
By that logic,
Yeah.
is Devin Hester a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay. Then I support it.
I'm trying to think of weird players now that like would and wouldn't be.
OBJ would be probably by that logic.
I think so. And he probably doesn't end up getting in just because injuries ruined his career. But I think by that logic, he definitely could.
we're talking
Weirdly, though,
how
guys
many?
that-
Okay, how many fullbacks since 1982 get in? If we do the whole, you
I
can't tell
don't-
the story of the league.
I don't
without
know.
him.
I don't know the 80s and 90s that well
Okay, but
for
what?
fullbacks. I'm
Okay,
not
so what
lying to
about
you.
more recent ones?
But like, are Riggins and Allstott not in?
Riggins. I
82 feels like Riggins wouldn't be. He was still in the league.
I think Riggins might have been considered a halfback.
That's
He
Gross.
played fullback, but I think the voting committee might have called him a halfback. I might be wrong.
I almost said Tim Riggins. I got apparently.
Yeah, 1992, he was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Also, I think
who-
82 might be off. When did?
But
Hold on.
Allstott should get in. If he's not,
He's
which,
not.
judging by the way you're talking, he's definitely not.
He's not. 87
So-
was the last one. Sorry, not 82. 87. That was Larry Zonka.
I think the guys who were truly lead blockers for the best rushing seasons of all time should get in. I
So,
can't
like,
remember the damn Bronco guy's name.
I know who you're talking
Fucking
about.
Griffith.
Yeah, Howard
I
Griffith.
can't remember his first name. Yeah,
Howard
Yeah.
Griffith, Moose Johnston.
Jerome
Um,
Felton.
Yeah,
Which is weird, but
Which
like I
I'm
genuinely
I'm
think
here for it.
He
Lorenzo
was
Neal,
the lead
obviously.
blocker for every one
Wait,
of Adrian Peterson's
wait a
yards.
minute. Wait a damn minute.
I'm waiting.
Does this mean Kari would be a Hall of Famer?
I think you'd have the argument
Lead block for
In
Derrick
this-
Henry's 2,000-yard season.
in this world. I think we're also looking at Lorenzo Neal,
Well, yeah, Lorenzo Neal blocked for 11 straight 1,000-yard rushes.
Kyle Juszczyk. I think we're looking at Max Strong and John
Yeah.
Kuhn probably.
Ricard.
Maybe Laron McClain.
Mhm. Larry Centers would have to get in because he's the all-time leading
Yeah.
receiver, all-time receptions leader for all backs, period.
I, just being a homer, want to make the argument for, and it's not even really a homer. He was just the fullback when I enjoyed the Raiders.
Marcel Reese, my goat.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Cortez?
Cortez.
Fake fan.
What? I don't.
Cortez Thaddeus Ham Jr.
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry that that's not the name I was expecting you to spring.
You don't know your abbreviated J first name player off the top of your
Miller,
head like I do?
unlike you guys, I like to just call the players by the names they choose instead of the names they hide.
Well, I mean, I still refer
I
to
don't
him as...
dead name my fullback.
Oh, my... You're not... Okay. God. Anyways, back to quarterbacks.
But CJ Ham, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so yet.
I agree.
Same with like Ingold. I just don't think so.
It's early.
Yeah.
But no. Back to quarterbacks, what we were talking about.
Ah, yes.
We're in agreement. Allen 3, Jackson 2, Mahomes 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have to talk about Mahomes?
No, I think
No, I don't think there's much to.
I think
I
that
don't think we
guy's
can-
reputation may precede him.
I saw that he joined the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I saw that.
Yes.
Who was the player?
Also, apparently there was an earthquake in LA right
Oh.
now.
Stay safe, Los Angeles.
Yeah, so days ago, by the time y'all
Yeah.
are finally hearing this. Oh, I guess I mean I am live, but
Yeah. So, anyways, to recap our top 10.
Oh.
At 10, we got
Yeah.
Kyler. At 9, we got T-Law. At 8, we got Jalen Hurts. 7, we got Rain Dakota Prescott. At 6, we got Matthew Stafford. At 5, we got Joe Burrow. At 4, we got Justin Herbert. At 3, we have Josh Allen. At 2, we have Lamar Jackson. And at number 1, we have Patty Mahomes. Now, if I'm not
I think so.
mistaken, I do believe, since I did it to Mr. Rain Dakota Prescott, I did forget. The guy we were arguing with him with also doesn't go by his first name. Did you know that?
Stafford?
John Matthew Stafford. is
Ew,
his
I'm
full
glad
name.
he chose Matthew.
You're telling me you wouldn't go crazy over John Stafford?
No, honestly, I wouldn't put him in the top 10. The amount of aura lost is incredible.
But yeah,
You disagree?
no, it's
Okay.
John Stafford. You know, like the dumb memes where it's like, yes, John Fortnite, the inventor of Fortnite. That John Stafford sounds like that type of name, where it's like obviously
The
fake and
inventor of
stupid.
quarterback.
The inventor of the it factor, John Stafford.
No, who would be the inventor of the it factor? I have the name I want to say, but I think you'll yell at me.
You're gonna say Fran Tarkenton.
I'm trying to think of who before him was the quarterback that was like doing stuff.
You're not gonna like my answer.
It's gonna be so stupid in Chicago.
No. My answer went more to who did something brazy in a big game. So I guess it wouldn't be fair because he wasn't great for his entire career. But my brain
Was he even good in that game?
I think for reference, my brain went to Joe Namath. I think Namath was good in Super Bowl 3. No, had to have been.
Was it 3?
Yeah, had to have been, right?
No. I mean, the Jets only scored 16.
He was 17 of 28 with 206 yards. No
No
interceptions, though.
touchdowns, no picks. That is the Brock Purdy of all stat lines.
Damn, you're right. Realistically,
Especially since realistically, if you were gonna argue for one of the quarterbacks in that game,
Unitas, though.
yeah, but I mean, if you look at how he played in that game,
Yeah. You know
Who
who
would?
it probably was?
Fran
No. Slinging
Hater.
Sammy Baugh.
No,
This guy doesn't know about Sammy Baugh.
just out of spite. I'm
This guy
saying,
doesn't know
no.
about Sammy Baugh.
Let's see. I want to go see how was. Oh, that's the Joe Cap Super Bowl. Joe Cap was not him. I can tell you that.
Oh.
Joe Cap is probably the reason the Vikings lost Super Bowl 4.
Shout out to all my Sammy Baugh truthers out there. This guy. Samuel Adrian Baugh. You want to talk about aura.
He has none.
Well, that's just not true.
What's he slinging?
The ball. He's slinging the motherfucking rock.
What fucking? Oh God, I am the problem apparently. I, I'm trying to see how Fran played in those Super Bowls. I mean, not
no,
the
duh.
worst, but not good.
It's
You say Bart Starr, I'm firing you from Run the
no.
North.
It's probably automatic.
What about Norm Van Brocklin? Isn't he like the biggest fraud of all time?
I think he had like 1 touchdown game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wasn't he just like awful? But he had that one game. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Hall
okay.
of Famer though, for some reason.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna plant my flag. I think it was either Otto Graham or Johnny Unitas. That probably would have been.
I'm gonna plant my flag on Fran Tarkenton just cause.
Biased? Yeah, we know.
No, not. Excuse me.
Tee hee hee.
Excuse me.
This guy, he thinks he can hide it.
No, it's because I almost said the wrong name. Fran Tarkenton was just the modern day quarterback, but 70 years ago.
Is his full birth name Fran?
I think it's Francis. I would assume.
Francis
Bears.
Asbury Tarkenton.
See, I know my quarterback.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have been hard to put together Francis.
It could have
See,
been.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
he's still alive?
I don't feel like that is that surprising.
Oh, he's only 84. I was thinking he played way earlier than he did.
No,
he played in the 60s
he was
and 70s.
the same
okay.
as like Unitas and
Okay.
Star and
Actually, Unitas
he
is a
played from
little bit before.
yeah, but yeah, Fran played from 1961 to 1978.
Damn. Damn. John Unitas died
Yeah.
young.
Damn.
69. Also, I didn't know John Unitas was Lithuanian.
Oh,
That's
I didn't either.
crazy.
I
My-
didn't even know Lithuania existed back then.
My
No, I'm kidding.
Lithuanian king, Johnny Unitas.
But,
Also, did you know his nickname was the Golden Arm?
weird.
That has so much aura. It's so simple. It's not too
Oh.
fancy. It's not trying to be cute.
Fran Tarkenton, his nickname was just the Scrambler.
Yeah, but like Golden Arm. I don't know why I use my
L.
left arm. I'm not left-handed.
Bro thinks he's Tua.
Nah, I'm too good for that.
Oh. I'm mad about
Why?
what you just did there. I'm upset.
Maybe get gooder.
I'm more upset now.
Do we have anything else we need to talk about?
I don't know.
You see, I know you don't really give a rat's nuts about Madden. But
Oh, did they do something cool for Superstar mode? I saw them talking about it.
I saw
and
that
by
came
saw
out.
them, I mean EA
Something
emailed me to
came out.
talk about Madden, and I didn't.
But do you want to hear the top 10 middle linebackers in Madden Ultimate Team as of day one?
I mean, I'm sure I almost said Bobby Lashley,
Okay,
the
so
Almighty, but Miller doesn't know who that is. But the
No.
Almighty Bobby Lashley.
so tied for first, Fred Warner and Roquan Smith. Then Demario
Okay.
Davis on an island.
Sure.
Three-way tie between Foyesade Aluakon, Levante David, and CJ Mosley. Three-way tie between Bobby Wagner, Tremaine Edmonds, and Bobby Okereke, and then Shaq Thompson at 10. I hate that the internet and that the mainstream media don't watch Bobby Wagner play football. Why don't they watch him? Why don't they do it?
I don't know.
It's not that hard.
I mean, he's an All-Pro, Doug. From last year.
Really good at defending the run.
Not even that good at it anymore. And I want him to keep winning All-Pros though.
Oh, because you have this weird anti-all-pro agenda.
No, because you've argued on the same side as me that All-Pros aren't actually that meaningful. And then
When
we did this, the first time Bobby Wagner won an undeserving All-Pro 7 years ago. That's a little aggressive.
I was gonna say.
We didn't even know each other, and he wasn't bad 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah. Well, now your
this has
argument
been a thing
is
where every
that-
year there's multiple All-Pros. Every single year ever, there's multiple All-Pros who are not All-Pros. But somehow we just argue that makes All-Pro important. But it really
So what
doesn't.
accomplishments
literally
matter
just brought
to
up-
you then?
I don't know.
This guy doesn't want anyone to accomplish anything.
No, I just want accomplishments to mean something, and none of them do. Because they're all super flawed in how they're voted on. Because when literally 100% of the world disagrees with the voting committee got it wrong. I'm sorry, Bobby Wagner would tell you he was not an All-Pro last year.
Oh, I'd hope so.
Bobby Wagner's kids, his wife, his mom, his dog would tell you he wasn't an All-Pro last year.
I think his
Now,
dog
the
would just
cat-
bark at you.
Oh, you don't speak to the animals?
No, I don't have that spell right now.
Ah,
I might prepare it for tomorrow, but
gotcha.
right.
Dude, I woke up to my dog being in my face this morning. That was a little, well, from a nap earlier. That was a little freaky.
it was like, bro.
He normally doesn't sleep in here,
Mhm.
but everybody left, so I just like left my door open so he
Yeah.
could like come in if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I've ever done that. Kind of freaked me the fuck out. There was this
That
dog.
used to
Oh, what
happen to
the
me
fuck?
in middle school and high school. I had this friend that I'd sleep over at his house all the time, and he had these two big, like, standard poodles. He had this one, and he was a little special, right? Sweetest dog I've ever met, though. His name was Otto. He was a big doofus, but a big lovable doofus. When I'd wake up, that dog would always just stand right over top of me. And then I'd have to acknowledge him by reaching up, and I'd pet his face from him and be like, hey, buddy. And then, no, not your WWE thing. I'd reach up, pet his face, and be like, hey, buddy. And then he'd bark, and he'd walk away, and he'd go lay in the kitchen until we got up for breakfast. It was funny, though, because you figure the first time that happened freaked me the fuck out. Because I woke up, first thing I see is a big old standard poodle's jowls in my face, slobbering everywhere. And then by like the third time, I was like, oh, okay, this is just a thing now. And it was really funny because this other dog didn't like me. So it was like I'd walk in the house, that dog loved me, the other dog would just sit in the corner. But now we're completely off topic. I think it is about
That's what we
time
do to
wrap
end the
up.
show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think any cool training camp news from you?
Roshan Johnson looks like he's going to be RB2 over Khalil Herbert.
Apparently JJ McCarthy's him. So
Well,
that's
I thought we
cool.
knew his pronouns already.
I hate you.
And that's how we're going to end it, folks. Thank you
No,
all for
we're not
watching.
actually though. Do you think So they've talked about it. Do you think there's actually a world
Where he
where
starts
JJ
week
starts
one.
week 1? Like, it went from there's not really a chance to suddenly it's like KOC's like, I don't know, maybe.
I haven't followed Minnesota's training camp, so I don't know the stories and the updates and whatnot. But I mean, crazier things have happened.
Right? It would just be, to me, it would be really weird. But apparently, you know, Darnold's already doing the oh shit pressure thing, which isn't good for Darnold. And I don't know. Realistically, has JJ McCarthy had a year of his life where there wasn't a ton of pressure?
Right.
Like, his entire career has been like, oh, you have to go win a national championship. Like, that's, or, you know, you
Blake
have to be
Ticket-
the best high school quarterback. You just have to.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean he's going to be great. That just means, like, he has always went into every season with the, like, immense pressure of life.
Mhm.
Darnold doesn't really like pressure.
Yeah. Real quick, speaking of the Vikings,
Yeah.
so I'm sure you saw that Kamala Harris announced her running mate.
Yeah.
Turns out, big Vikings fan from Minnesota.
Big Nas Reed fan.
Big Nas Reed fan. And it was really funny. And I'm not trying to get political. I don't care about people's political affiliations in this context, but Adam Thielen's wife, who tweeted out and was like, "Oh my God, this is terrible. Look at what he's done to Minnesota." And then people just keep quote tweeting it with a picture of him and Adam Thielen together, like looking as happy as can be. It's like, come on, man. That's just funny. That's just funny.
I love it.
I don't care if Adam Thielen actually hates that man in secret and he just did it for like the photo op. It's still just
Right.
funny that's been every single reply.
Valid. I don't know, man. It's goofy. I don't know. It really depends on what side of the internet you're on, how the replies to all of that are going.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's how everything is now. Wow, weirdly off topic. How about Caleb Williams, though?
What about him?
I don't know. He probably did something cool. I was hoping you'd tell me he did something
He
cool.
threw a touchdown to Cole Kmet the other day.
Let's go.
I had to clean up my pants. It was crazy.
Hey, yo. I'm trying to think. Oh, Ed Ingram might be getting benched.
4?
Well, so, I mean, Reisner wasn't guaranteed a starting job when he re-signed
Oh.
because of Ed Ingram and Blake Brandel, who the Vikings just, like, they didn't, like, pay, but they gave him, like, a 3-year, like,
Yeah.
$8 million deal, which for a guard almost is starter money. Most guards ain't getting paid like that.
Yeah.
So I just watched Jonah Williams, who I always think is the left tackle, but there's also a defensive tackle named Jonah Williams, who we brought in from the Rams, who probably won't play much for us. Murdered Ed Ingram in like 8 reps in a row. It's like, yeah, Ed's gonna lose this, and I'm very happy.
That's fair.
That sounds really bad, but I am. I'm really happy. Fuck that guy.
I'm trying to think of what else I can add for
Ew.
Bears. What?
The Saints are bringing in Justin Simmons tomorrow.
Well, they can have him. Justin Simmons is a weirdo.
What?
I'll have to send you the tweet. I don't remember
Oh.
offhand specifically what it was, but he said something pretty
I hope
cringe.
you're wrong.
Here, I'll look it up. In the meantime,
I hope it's an edited tweet.
I mean, maybe it is. But did you? I guess you wouldn't have. Austin Booker looked really fucking good against the Texans.
Dubs.
A lot of pursuit speed, a lot of what's it called? Trying, a lot of effort. That's the word I was looking for. God, I got distracted.
But no, I totally forgot what I was just about to say. Oh, my avoidance of Twitter over the last 2 weeks has been just wonderful.
Yeah.
I genuinely think, like, as a community, we all need to just decide we're not using Twitter anymore.
I wish we could.
We can, just like don't.
Yeah.
You know what gets me notifications faster than Twitter now? The ESPN app. And
Yeah,
then it's
I found the
never
Simmons
fake.
tweet. It's
Oh
real.
no. But then it's never faked, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a fake Adam Schefter account that I'm getting a notification for some reason.
hmm
You know what I mean? I straight up have used Twitter. I have checked about once a day. I have gone on and just like looked specifically at my following feed, but looking only for names of people that I like actually want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And then I've checked their tweets, and then I've gotten off Twitter. And the only other things are to post that, like, hey, I woke up, we're live again.
Yeah. Just for reference with the Simmons tweet, I'm going to bring it up because it is relevant sports wise. It's in reference to, I forget her name, so excuse me, but the boxer that everyone was like, this is a trans woman. And it's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
she just has higher testosterone. Someone named Riley Gaines, who is a University of Kentucky, or a former University of Kentucky swimmer, says after 46 seconds and a few hits to the face by a male, Carini forfeited the fight, referring to the first fight in which caused the uproar. Call me crazy, but it's almost as if women don't want to be punched in the face by a male as the world watches and applauds. This event is glorified male violence against women. Justin Simmons quote tweets it and says, this is extremely disappointing and infuriating to watch. This is a disgrace not only to the sport itself, but most importantly, women, in all caps, in sports. Implying that the boxer, the Algerian boxer, who again, I believe her name is Iman.
Kalev.
Yeah, Iman. Implying that she is not a woman.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there was lag.
Yeah, it came through late.
So
But yeah,
I was
no,
like, I definitely just said that, but all right. Yeah.
Justin Simmons sucks. I fear. I hope he comes back and is bad at football. Because being transphobic towards someone who isn't even transgender is a next level of hating. Like, brother, go negotiate a contract. You got shit to do. You're like actually kind of still good at football. Go do your job.
I don't want to click that trend.
Oh God. All right. Well,
Oh, that's not who I thought it would be.
can we wrap
Or
this
what I
up?
thought it would
You want to
be.
do this? Do you want me to do this? How are we doing this? Who's doing what?
You do the thing so I can scream.
Well, thank you all for watching. This has been the Run the North podcast. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe down below for all of our YouTube viewers. We really do appreciate the support. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting us know how you felt about our top 10 quarterbacks list. If you disagree, let us know what your list is. We can argue in the comments, all that good stuff. To all of our Spotify listeners, make sure to follow, rate, review, all that good stuff. And to anywhere else you get your podcast, if you're listening on a different podcast platform, we love you equally. I just don't know how your podcast platforms work, so do the good thing and make us feel good in however way that may be. Also, make sure to check out Geek. He'll probably still be live when this goes up. I'm also posting on YouTube pretty much every day, so go check that out. Content is about to ramp up because, fun fact, I am not going to have my next semester in college. I'm taking a semester off to focus on some other stuff, including content. So I'm going to be doing a ton of content throughout the NFL season. It's going to be a ton of fun. But yeah, thank you all for listening, watching, whatever it is you're doing. We really do appreciate it. Geek, do the thing.
Bye.